Hello and welcome to more nerdy rodent geekery. I've been busy working on my WAN Animate workflow and nerdily counting frames in those embedding loops with some interesting discoveries. Plus, Kijai has released a version 2 of the Animate model as well. On top of that, we've got a new set of nodes for even more accurate face and pose detection, so let's dive straight in. For a full breakdown of this workflow, do go and check out my original WAN Animate video, as this one today I'm just going to be going through the updates and changes I mentioned. You can upgrade for free at home just by taking notes from this video and copying everything I've done here for yourself at home. You can pause, take screenshots, all that sort of good stuff for skill building and learning. Or if you find these videos helpful and maybe you'd like all this work done for you already, then you could support the channel via Patreon and get all these modifications ready to go. Your support helps me make even more workflows for you and to share these videos with everyone. The freedom to choose is, as always, yours, and a massive thank you to all supporters because you make this possible. Those familiar with the channel will know I like to use what I call the Rodent method. This is because I think neatly crafted workflows are both easier to use and to update as well. Lots of lovely boxes means things are more like building blocks with less clutter, as well as better focus on each component. As mentioned, it's changes only in this video, and the first one isn't so much of a change to the workflow itself, but to the available models. Here you can see the old version 1 model from 20 days ago now as a file size of 18.4 gig, but the new model has much the same quality but a reduced file size. Yes, it may not be much of a change, but every little helps when it comes to memory use. It's worth noting the original file may perhaps be slightly better quality, but in my testing I couldn't see all that much of a difference, so if you like saving both memory and disk space, then just go with that smaller version 2 file. And remember, you've got a choice of 2 there, but the one I'll be using today is the E4M3FN version. Next up is a brand new loader, like you can see here, the ONNX detection model loader, which actually loads a couple of models. As usual with all of these things, the choice of file you download is up to you, with various model file options available. The YOLO file you can snag straight from the WAN 2.2 Animate Hugging Face site, and it's a tiny 61 meg in size. The new pose models are from VitPose, and if we scroll down a bit here, we've got some pose things going on there, and a nice picture because pictures paint 1,000 words and tell you a little bit of information about what you want to pick at a glance. It's pretty easy to see what's going on. We've got VitPose down in the bottom right here, so it's very small and very fast, but less accurate, with VitH, the huge one up there, being a bit slower but more accurate. You can see the file sizes here, and they aren't all that massive when compared to the actual WAN Animate model itself, but as you need 2 files for the huge model, I just went with the large options for the tests you'll see today in this video. That new loading node comes from the new WAN Animate pre-processing node pack, so don't forget to install that as well, which is also available via ComfyUI Manager. Oh, and just popping back to that new loader node for a second, it's probably worth noting the ONNX device has 2 options, with the default being CUDA, so obviously you're going to need an NVIDIA card for that one, but there is a CPU option as well. To go along with that node, here is the updated face and pose group, where we have another 2 nodes from that pre-processing pack. There's one there for pose and face detection, and another one called Draw Vit Pose. This does make things nice and simple. Like you can see here, we just pass in the detection model and video to get that lovely face and pose detection. With the main updates out of the way, let's take a look at that very nerdy frame counting, as things often weren't perfectly adding up, and I wanted to know why, which is where this tiny change to the video loader comes in, as well as adding a little preview for the frame counter in various places, and some playing around with the frame window size in the WAN Animate Embeds node, which is where the main looping happens. You might have faced this yourself already, so let's just go through some of the issues, count some frames, and also have a look at some video generations to see how those updated pose nodes work. To start with then, here is the prompt I'm using for the next couple of tests: a talking furry-faced female with hoop earrings and a woolly polo neck. Indoor scene, books in the background. So that's a very basic prompt to start with. Here's the input video I'm using for the next couple of tests then. As you can see, frame load cap of 157, so higher than the typical 81, and the preview any node down there shows that, yes, 157 frames have been loaded. I'm also using audio for all of these tests as well, so let's just have a quick listen to that.
10 o'clock, we were playing kneesies under the table and having dessert, like the good old days. And then we went to the motel, and then it happened.
Okay, so that's the entire video with the audio as well, with the reference image I'm using to go with my furry face prompt being this one here, so we should get that lovely face coming out on the generated videos. Here we have the video generation then, and let's just take a quick listen to this one.
10 o'clock, we were playing kneesies under the table and having dessert, like the good old days. And then we went to the motel, and then it happened.
Okay, now that seems fair enough, but what I've had to do in this particular case is turn on this option, trim to audio. Why is that? Because, well, if we have a look at the get image size and count there, from the original 157 frames, we've actually got 229 frames coming out. Why is that? Well, it's all due to this WAN Animate Embeds node where it does the looping. So with the frame size there, the default of 77, that's where those extra frames are coming from. Just to compare, we can also have a look at the image animate option. So rather than using the background video and the masking, this is just animating the single image.
10 o'clock, we were playing kneesies under the table and having dessert, like the good old days. And then we went to the motel, and then it happened.
Okay, so also a pretty decent result, and I do like the lip sync. It seems to work pretty well. Let's try playing around with a few settings then. This time I've changed the window frame size to 65. So reducing from 77 to 65, and preview any says this time we've got 193 frames, so that's interesting. Or with a frame window size of 69, then we get 205 frames out instead. In either case, that trim to audio will get rid of however many extra frames there are at the end, assuming, of course, you do have some audio. But what if you don't want those extra frames at the end? Well, you've got a few options. Here I'm setting the frame window size, so rather than 77, I'm actually changing it to be the same number as the number of video frames going in, which is 157 in this case. I also have some notes here on the frame window size. As I've been playing along, I've been typing these in. So Animate Embed is the thing which does loops, which can be confusing if you're not expecting it to. And as mentioned, due to those loops, certain frame lengths will generate extra frames, with trim audio being an easy way to remove those extra frames at the end, just at the flip of a switch. The value can go fairly low, with 77 being a decent value that also closely matches the reference image, with 121 being a sort of maximum for matching the reference image, with values lower than 41 not working quite as well. Now, as mentioned, the value can also go very high, like if you connect the video frames to the frame window size, and that will fully eliminate any bounce. However, you will need to make sure your prompt is well written and matches the reference image as well. The image animate option in this case will have the first frame messed up if you've got a very high number of frames, typically above that 121, maybe 170 mark, depending how lucky you are, so removing that first frame may help. Here's the resulting video then, with the frame window size set to the same length as the video length. So as you can see this time, we do have 157 frames, which is perfect.
10 o'clock, we were playing kneesies under the table and having dessert, like the good old days. And then we went to the motel, and then it happened.
As you can see, video quality is still pretty decent, even though we've got an absolutely massive frame window size. Very handy to know. Now, as mentioned, when you're using the image animate option, so it's not doing the masking, you might have seen it there, the first frame of the video will be a little bit messed up. Some more tests then, and this time a new video and a new prompt. This time we've got a rat-faced guard wearing blue armor, walks up to a brown wooden door in a hotel corridor, and then knocks 4 times upon the door. And here is the video clip I'm going to be using. Let's just have a quick listen and look at that with the audio. With the reference image I'm using being this one in full color. Let's have a quick zoom in on that. So there we've got our rodent guard in his armor. The frame count on this one is 193, so hopefully we'll get the same number of frames out. And for this test, I've connected video frames to the frame window size, so it's definitely going to be the same, and used a little bit of color matching too. We can see here in the preview, it does in fact equal 193. A fairly decent result then. We've got our rodent chap wandering down there. And of course, if you saw my previous video, then modifying that mask can help with the shape of the head. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good result. Doing the same thing with the image animate option. So once again, connecting the video frames to the frame window size. Obviously, we've got a slightly better head shape in there because of the masking, but yes, there is no door, so he's strangely tapping upon the air. And just as a comparison, let's take a look then with a frame window size of 77. What do you reckon is going to happen here? Well, we've got a preview any there, which shows we have 229 frames coming out, but that's not the only thing. Yes, with that smaller frame size of 77 and the color match option enabled as well, as you can see, those colors have gone really, really wrong. And just to compare with the image animate option as well, you can see the colors are a bit better, but let's have a watch through. And of course, yes, we've got the invisible door there once again, but still a fairly decent result. Okay, let's have a look at another test video then. This is going to be slightly different. So we've got a furry rat-faced humanoid with brown curly hair, glasses, and a grey fur face. So as you can see, I've gone quite overboard with the prompt there to make sure that the person has a rodent face. As you can tell, this is a very difficult video to play with because we've got the woman's face and then it changes scene, so she's much smaller, and then it changes again and then it changes again and the thing goes dark as well. So very difficult video to work with. The reference image I'm using is this one. So we're changing her face to a rodent. She's got some glasses, some brown hair and a blue dress. So it's a black and white thing that we've added color to. Again, the frame window size is the same length as the video, so 201 frames.
Does it go anywhere? Lance! Lance!
Not a bad result, but as you can see, there are a few issues even with that updated pose model. The face, as it changes scene, does change a little bit. The hand isn't quite right on the door, and of course as it goes darker and zooms out and the person is very much smaller, then the face once again isn't perfectly like the reference image. If we take a quick look at the image animate option, so once again using the large frame window size.
Does it go anywhere?
Definitely completely weird. So unlike the masked video version, it's not quite doing the skeleton and pose thing perfectly. She's shaking the door there rather than knocking on it. All sorts of strange things happening, lifting up her arm here at the beginning. So that's where it changes scene. So yeah, your mileage may vary if you're using image animation. Now, if the frame window size options aren't confusing enough, then the load video node you use will also change the number of frames. Here, the FFmpeg version of the load video node seems a bit better. That's the one I've been using in all those examples, but you will need FFmpeg installed. That one actually loads 93 out of 93 frames versus 89 frames from OpenCV. The other thing to note, of course, is the WAN format frame count is a bit more accurate. So Animate Diff may load 96 frames, but only 93 will be produced. Here then, I've connected the OpenCV version, the one I've been using so far is the FFmpeg one, and it's got 93 frames on there. It says 93, but in the preview any, that's not 93, is it? It's actually only loading 89 frames. We can see how that's going to impact the video generation. Here's the prompt I'm using for this one. A rat-faced woman with blonde curly hair and amazing whiskers is holding and stroking a small white dog. There's the reference image I'm using, the blonde-haired rodent person. And if we just have a quick listen to the audio on that video as well.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
For the WAN video animate embeds, we're still using the video length as the frame window size. And that does mean we get the perfect 89 out of 93 frames according to the OpenCV load video node, with the resulting video being like this.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
With image animate, I'm doing the same thing. So once again, let's take a look at that version.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
So as you can tell, it's definitely clipping off the full word Shakespeare at the end. However, this is where things get a little bit strange. So if we listen to the preview audio.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
It's definitely all there. Okay, let's take a look at the FFmpeg upload option then. All the same settings then, I've just disconnected that node and connected the load video FFmpeg version. And as you can see, the preview any there now shows 93 out of 93. So even though that one said 93, it was only loading 89. This one says 93 and does actually load 93 frames.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare. Oh yes.
Interesting. So a few things have changed there. The video quality seems to be a little bit better, and the audio is almost there. It's still just clipping off a little bit at the end, despite it being 93 frames still. How's the audio in this case? Well, let's take a listen once again.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
Yes, it's definitely saying Shakespeare all the way at the end. Okay, let's have a look at the image animate one as well.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
Again, a slightly better looking dog there. But of course the audio is clipping at the end. Is there any way at all that we can fix this? Can we have the perfect frame count and the perfect audio as well? Yes, we can, and the trick is rather weird. What am I doing here? Well, I'm using the standard ComfyUI load video option along with get video components, but only using the audio from that. So the audio connected up to set audio in, still using the same video in from the FFmpeg node, because that does the frame rate nicely. And if you try to connect the images into that one, it doesn't work. Once again then, same settings, frame window size all the same. Audio in is the only thing that's different. We've got 93 frames, so let's have a listen to that video.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
Oh, finally, we've actually got the whole of the word Shakespeare towards the end, and with the image animate option as well. Let's take a look at that one.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
Awesome. So how strange is that? Evidently something a little bit odd going on with the audio, but of course you could do it maybe in a video editor afterwards. Just take the video from that and put the original audio back in, or use that little trick there by using the native ComfyUI loader and taking the audio from that. And if you like getting all nerdy with workflow details and stuff, then don't forget to like and subscribe for even more.
Ooh, nerdy rodent. He really makes my day. Showing us AI in a really British way.